Today, we are cracking open the playbook of one of Jamaica's absolute hottest producers, DJ Mac. We're going to take a look at how he engineered the WYFL Riddim, a beat that went from just another day in the studio to a massive global phenomenon. And more importantly, what its story tells us about the state of modern dancehall today. Okay, so let's get right into it. How does a track just catch fire like that? How does it spread across the entire world? Well, it all starts with a beat, the right artist, and, a moment of lightning in a bottle that you can never really predict. And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about here, the WYFL Riddim wasn't just a local hit in Jamaica. No way. We're talking Brazil, Puerto Rico, and get this, it was a top 10 charter in Germany. Germany. That's the kind of organic international success that makes everybody sit up and pay attention. Now, what's really wild about this whole thing is just the speed of it all. So the Riddim gets made in October. By late November, the first version, the one by the artist Skippa, is out. And then by December, it just explodes. Even DJ Mac himself admits he had no idea it was going to get that big. It was a total surprise, a perfect storm of the right sound at the right time. So, you've got a hit this big, this fast. Now what? Well, you're facing a whole new set of problems. It's not just about the music anymore. It's about managing a cultural moment. So let's look at how that success gets turned into a real modern business strategy. And here's the first big challenge. When a Riddim gets hot, I mean really hot, everyone wants a piece of it. All of a sudden, dozens, maybe hundreds of unofficial versions start popping up everywhere. So the question is that disrespect to the producer, or is that just how dancehall culture works? For DJ Mac, the answer is, it's kind of both. But instead of trying to fight it, he's using a really smart, modern solution. He's got this whitelisted system, so when some young artist uploads a song using his Riddim to, say, Apple Music, he gets an automatic ping asking for his permission. The key thing here is he gets to control his own intellectual property without killing creativity. And a lot of the time, he actually gives the thumbs up to young artists who are just trying to get a break. This quote right here really gets to the heart of how he thinks about it. If one of those unauthorized songs actually starts getting popular, his team will reach out. But they're not calling to demand money. They're calling to see how they can help. With marketing, getting it on playlists, making it even bigger. He sees it as a win-win, something that's beneficial for everybody. Now, this whole collaborative mindset really shapes who he decides to work with in the studio. So, who's it easier to create that magic with? Is it the hungry newcomers or the seasoned veterans? The answer might actually surprise you. The way DJ Mac breaks it down, it's all about energy and openness. He finds that younger artists are just hungry. They're willing to take advice, they're excited, and they really treat the studio like a team sport. On the other hand, he says some, not all, but some, established artists can come in with big egos. They're not as open to a young producer's ideas, and a lot of them prefer to just record their vocals alone, which can totally kill that creative spark. Okay, so this brings us to one of the biggest, most passionate debates happening in dancehall right now. This whole idea of the crossover hit. Is the modern sound really competing on the global stage like it used to? This whole conversation got fired up again recently by the veteran selector ZJ Rush. He basically asked if the current generation of dancehall is truly crossing over in the same way the giants of the 90s and early 2000s did. It's a huge question, and DJ Mac has a very, very clear take on it. His main argument is that you just can't compare the two eras. It's apples and oranges. I mean, look at this. In the 90s, you had maybe 40 major artists. 40. Today, he figures there are over 400,000 artists in Jamaica alone. Back then, you needed a major label to discover you. Now, success can come from a 15-second viral moment on TikTok. The market is completely flooded, and the old gatekeepers, like needing an expensive studio, they're just gone. It's a totally different game. So he argues that we need a whole new definition for crossover. It's not about hitting #1 on the US Billboard charts anymore. For him, a crossover success today is a song that does well enough in different international markets, like his did in Germany, to actually feed an artist's family and build a real, sustainable career. If it's doing that, it's working. So, given this new reality, just being a great producer, making great beats, it's not enough anymore. The modern playbook demands something more. It's all about turning your name into a brand. And DJ Mac is very intentional about this. He's basically following the formula laid out by guys like DJ Khaled and Rufsian.
By also being a touring DJ, he gets to travel the globe, see what's working in different clubs, network with people, and build his name into a public figure. That opens doors that would stay slammed shut if you were just some guy making beats in a back room.
And that brand keeps expanding. He's recently moved into artist management, which he calls paying his school fees. He's learning the business from the ground up. Budgeting, marketing, brand deals, all the critical stuff you can't learn from a textbook.
So, finally, with everything changing so fast, who holds the key to the future of dancehall? Who's actually responsible for making sure that great new music gets the attention it deserves? Well, DJ Mac's answer? It's a little complicated.
He really sees it as a shared problem. Yeah, he says DJs are partly to blame for sticking to the same old hits during their warm-up sets, but he also puts it on the artists, saying they need to do the groundwork, get out there, and build real relationships with the DJs. But then, there's a third piece to this puzzle.
And this might be his most controversial point. He says the fans, they share some of the blame too. When an audience is resistant to new sounds, or when they only want to hear the 5 songs they already know and love, it makes it incredibly hard for the whole genre to move forward. The fans have to be open to what's next. Which leaves us with this final big question. In a world with hundreds of thousands of artists and an endless fire hose of new music every single day, who's the ultimate gatekeeper? Is it the artists making the music, the industry trying to sell it, or is it really the audience whose clicks, shares, and attention ultimately decide what breaks through? That's the question that's going to define the next chapter of dancehall.